Hey y'all, welcome into another video. This time we're going through the NFL mock draft for the fantasy football impact players of 2022. Let's get it. The first impact players I see is going to be taken at 8 with the Falcons. We have Drake London. Drake London is a big body receiver. He's got long arms. He's really good. Could use another red zone threat like Kyle Pitts, but he should be awesome for this offense. Should be a good fit. Marcus Mariota is coming from the Raiders after being the starter for the Titans, but losing his job to Tannehill. The Falcons have lost all of their wide receivers from this season. Both Calvin Ridley and Russell Gage are no longer with the team, so that leaves Drake London as the number one wide receiver and Kyle Pitts as the only two options for Mariota as his best options in 2022. I wouldn't say that London should be a must-own wide receiver in 2022. He should be a bye-week fill-in for the flex from week to week, but not somebody you can count on week in and week out. Look for London to provide another solid option, big body receiver for Mariota for what seems like could be a rocky 2022 season. Now the next impact player, we're going to go over to 9 with the Seahawks, and I have them taking Malik Willis. Malik Willis is a quarterback that could give them some energy. They could give him something since Russell Wilson had left due to the Denver Broncos, a mobile quarterback. Now we have Malik Willis, who is an elite mobile quarterback. He has the ability to use his feet just like Russell Wilson did. Should be a nice little fill-in for them. The problem that I have with Malik Willis is he needs to work on his accuracy. Malik Willis will be taking over for Russell Wilson, and as long as the Seahawks don't trade them, it looks like Willis is set up for success with two developed wide receivers to throw to, DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. They're both dependable options, and Willis is going to be able to try to throw and make some type of immediate impact for fantasy. Malik Willis is absolutely a great pick to take in the late rounds to be able to sit on your bench. With his rushing ability, he has a chance to becoming an immediate fantasy impact player for you. Look for Willis to be a successful fantasy option for you on your team later in the season for 2022. Now let's move over to the 11th pick with the Commanders, and I have them taking Garrett Wilson, the wide receiver from Ohio State. Garrett Wilson is a great route runner. I think he fits good in the scheme. I think he can easily find the open pocket, which is what's needed for the Commanders right now. He does have an ability to catch these difficult passes. I've seen him catch these one-handed, go up and get them type of plays already, and that's something that I think the Commanders have been lacking. He can catch the ball. He's a yards after catch monster, and that is going to bode well for his fantasy production. Carson Wentz is now the quarterback for the Commanders. After being traded from the Colts this season, Wentz makes his living on dinking and dunking down the field, and having Garrett Wilson alongside Terry McLaurin, he should be able to be a good PPR option for your fantasy team. Garrett Wilson is one of my favorite wide receivers in this class and should make a nice splash in the 2022 season. There is a possibility for Garrett Wilson to be a top 24 wide receiver for the Commanders in 2022. Now we're going to the 13th pick with the Texans, and they could go anywhere. But I have them taking the quarterback, Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett is the most, in my eyes, the most NFL-ready quarterback, and I believe that is what the Texans need. They need someone that can get in there and kind of do something with this offense because it is in shambles. I think he's going to be a better NFL quarterback than he will be on fantasy quarterback, but with an offense that needs absolutely everything, we might want to kind of sit back and just wait on Kenny Pickett as a fantasy option. I see the Texans grabbing a quarterback on day 1 of the draft. The starting quarterback currently for the Texans is Davis Mills, which Pickett should be able to beat out in training camp and become the starter as a rookie. If Cooks isn't traded, Pickett should be thrown to Brandon Cooks and Nico Collins, which aren't the worst options, but should be able to give Pickett some average numbers. With the Texans being in a negative game script for most of their games, Pickett's going to be looked at to throw the ball all over the field and to be able to give you mediocre numbers and even maybe some nice decent numbers on some given weeks. I think for the most part, he's not going to have the type of weeks that you want to be a consistent starter for your team. I still see Pickett as a draft and stash for either a dynasty team or a keeper league. He will need more options on offense to be a consistent fantasy asset. Look for Pickett not to be a factor for your fantasy team in 2022. Now we're dropping all the way down to 15, where the Eagles pick, and I have them taking Chris Olave. Chris Olave is a very sleek and fluid route runner. He cuts in and out of his breaks very easily. He's got good burst, and he's got something he can be on there on the other side of what they already have at the Eagles. I think he could have a really good productive season there. In my opinion, the Eagles are starting to build a competitive team. The team is led by Jalen Hurts at quarterback and already has Devontae Smith as the #1 receiver. Bringing in Chris Olave should help open up this offense. Olave should be able to make an immediate impact not only for his team, but for your fantasy team. The running backs are always hurt, and it's up to Jalen to either run or throw. Having another option to throw to should keep the chains moving, which opens up several more opportunities for Olave to catch the ball. Look for Olave to be in your draft around the middle rounds for you to take, and to be an option that you can actually play into the flex in certain situations. He can definitely be a good option for you in 2022. Now we're going to move over to the 16th pick with the New Orleans Saints, and I have them taking Treylon Burks. Treylon Burks, to some, is the best wide receiver in this class. I mean, it could be Drake London, could be Garrett Wilson, but Treylon Burks has all the tools to become the #1 character in this class. Treylon Burks is a big body receiver. He's able to catch difficult catches. He has good body control, good hip movement. He's very fluid where he needs to. And the New Orleans Saints definitely need another playmaker on offense. The Saints are in a win-now mode, and one of their glaring needs is at wide receiver. Drafting Burks can fill that void with Jameson Williams at quarterback and Michael Thomas on the other side. Burks should easily be able to fill in as a great option for Winston. The Saints run a West Coast style offense, which will fit well for Burks. Throwing the back shoulder pass is key for the Saints offense, and Burks easily can catch those types of throws. It would seem like Burks would be a natural fit for the Saints. Look to take Burks around the mid rounds of your draft, and you should be able to plug him week 1 into your flex and be able to get some decent points out of him in 2022. Now we're going to move over to the 22nd pick in the Packers, and we have the Packers taking Jameson Williams. Jameson Williams is a barn burner. This guy can take the top off of a defense. He can burn a lot of corners in the NFL. He's got the speed. A little bit of an injury history at Alabama, but if he can keep it together and stay healthy, build some type of chemistry with Aaron Rodgers, I'm telling you, this guy could be special. Aaron Rodgers needs help. After the Packers lost Davante Adams to the Raiders, the only wide receiver left standing is Allen Lazard. Drafting such a speedster like Williams could be just what the doctor ordered. If Jameson Williams could be able to build that rapport with Rodgers in the offseason, we could be looking at something extremely special. You should be able to draft Williams in the later parts of your draft, maybe mid to later parts of your draft, but he could pay big dividends for you as he could be a top 24 receiver in 2022. Now we're going to the last person on our list today. At pick 25, the Buffalo Bills should take Johann Dotson. Johann Dotson is a wide receiver who has the best acceleration out of any wide receiver in this class. He can also take the top off of a defense, and he should be able to mesh very well with how strong Josh Allen's arm is. The Bills are the favorite to win their division, and they're a pretty solid team. Josh Allen could use another target after losing Beasley in free agency. Sharing the field with Stephon Diggs will be Dotson and could be a perfect fit in my eyes. Having a crazy strong arm, it would be really hard for Josh Allen to overthrow Johann Dotson. Even though I like Dotson's outlook for 2022, he may not be a huge fantasy producer early on. With Diggs being the main target and Josh Allen running for most of the opportunities, there shouldn't be too many games where you see Dotson going for 100 yards a game. This is going to make him more of a flex option here or there for your bye weeks, and possibly even more depending on how much he's going to be involved in the offense in 2022. So that's going to be it for my list here for all my fantasy football impact players for the NFL draft for the round 1. Guys, I appreciate you watching all my videos. I appreciate all the support you guys have been giving me. If you're new here, please do me a favor, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell, because we're going to be coming out with tons of information, especially after the NFL draft, leading you up to your fantasy draft and throughout the season on who you should start, who should sit, tons of information for you guys. But other than that, I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care.